All right, good night, gentlemen. Let me move this so I can look at you guys directly. Sweet. Welcome to the rest of your life. Welcome to being members of Groove 5 Group Social Fellowship Incorporated. Uh,
Huh?
welcome, welcome to the family.
Adult?
Who's that?
Oh,
Okay. Welcome to the family. We are glad, we are happy, we are excited to have each and every one of you as members of this organization. I've met most of you and I've said this to you. This is a very exciting time to come into this organization. We have a lot of transition, we have a lot of love, we have a lot of growth, and we're doing some amazing things here in the United States and abroad. So with that being said, I want to leave it over to our international president, Ahmad McDougall, who wants to share his remarks with you and open up this meeting.
Yes. Good evening, gentlemen. Thank you, first of all, for making the decision to come join us in our fight against inequality, inequity, and poverty in our communities specifically, and grand throughout the Africa diaspora as a whole. So we are engaged in a lifelong fight. We're going to be doing this for the rest of the days that we're here so that, God willing, our sons won't have the same struggles that we have. So this is what Groove is about. And through that strong tie to being invested in the communities of need, our brotherhood is established, and being of the same mind, same heart, being in support of the same causes and find a solution to the same problems. That's what draws us together as family, that we're like-minded individuals. So when, as you come into the organization, we want to try to do all that we can to teach you and give you all the tools that you need to be not only a successful fellowman, but a successful man. And so a lot of times in Groove, you'll find your success through Groove as your laboratory or your playground, and a place where you can do things and not worry about losing anything, losing a job or losing income. And you can take these skills and take these practices and methods and bring them over to your personal life or your professional life. So to start, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the international governing structure. And then from there on, Crispin, the membership director, will take you through the rest of the items on the agenda. Then we'll go for questions after each section. I think we'll answer them jointly. I'll let Crispin lead, as he will 99% likely be the vice president of this organization come July. So for our governing structure, and this is important to know. So I would take a pencil and pad and paper just so you can write this down. Plus, it's in the admin handbook, so you got to be clear about the rules of engagement in the governing structure. So, like any nonprofit organization, the executive board of directors. Hello. Okay. The executive board of directors, they provide oversight for the entire organization, more specifically the operating arm. So the executive board is comprised of a representative undergrad for each of the 6 regions that have the highest amount of undergraduate members that are financial, and 1 graduate representative for all of the regions that we have represented. So we have 9 total regions, of which 6 of those regions have undergraduate executive board reps. So then also on the executive board is the founders representative, the past president's representative, and the lifetime representative. So each one of these guys represent a certain constituency, whether that be regionally, undergrad and grad, or whether that be lifetime members, which is constituency in itself, or past presidents who are constituency in themselves, and so is the founders. So that is the executive board. They meet probably every 2 months, and I'm also a member on the executive board, and I provide them with reporting on our operating arm and our growth, our business practices, financial reporting, and things of that nature. And they give me feedback and oversight. The people on the directorate and the directorate staff, that's the operating arm. So there's 2 sides to that tree. There's the directorate, which is comprised of the regional directors. Those are elected individuals that are somewhat like the CEO of their region, right? They're tasked with growing chapters, suspending chapters, finding chapters, supporting chapters, looking over the paperwork for line, and generally ensuring that all the chapters within the region are following all or complying with all the guidelines, the rules, regulations, and our governing document, which is the Constitution and bylaws, and also our administrative handbook. Whoever that is, please put that on mute. Thank you. So that's one side of the directorate. Remember, this is the operating arm. The other side of the directorate is directorate staff. So the directorate staff is the second national vice president, which is the undergraduate person, the first national vice president, which is a graduate person, the president, which is me. Everybody answers to the president in this arm. Then we have the committee chairs, which is history, community service, finance, conclave events planning or events planning committee, IT, so on and so forth. And so each one of those are committee chairs, or we consider them to be directors. We're going to be changing pretty soon. The treasurer is going to be named the CFO.
Recording in progress.
Yeah, somebody, thank you. So the treasurer is the CFO, and they handle all the functions of a chief financial officer. They handle our annual audits, they handle our accounting, handle our expense, our profit and loss, and things of that nature. Then they also help prepare the reports that go out every month. Every month we send out a financial report stating or showing, displaying all the financial members. And we also have a financial statement showing every dollar that was spent in our annual budget, which is a process that we have to get. I have to get an approved budget every year. I have to present a budget to the board, they vote on it. And those expenditures represent how we're going to use our resources to push our organization forward and operate our organization. So then this treasurer is the CFO. We also have a parliamentarian, who is the individual that knows the Constitution and bylaws and governing docs and provides an opinion to ensure that people are interpreting it correctly. Then we have the secretary, which in this case, at some points he helps me write some of my public communications, because in my role or in our role, you can only write it one time. Once it goes out to the public, there's no taking it back. Then he also takes the notes for all the different meetings that we undertake. So that's the secretary, the parliamentarian, all the committee chairs, which I named. Then there's the international director of undergraduate affairs. Then there's also the vice chair of the undergraduate strategic growth committee. Got it? And so the undergraduate strategic growth committee are led by 4 people. The international director of undergraduate affairs, which is Mark Brantley, Jaden Weeks, which is the international executive board rep for the North Atlantic region. Then we have Tariq Abdullah, who is the vice chair of the committee. And then we have the second national vice president, which is currently Theodore Jesus, and he lives in New Jersey. And so each one of these entities have certain requirements for you to get elected to those positions. Some of the base requirements that you have to have attended 2 of the last 3 conclaves and 2 of the last 3 regional meetings. And you have to have been financial for 4 years consecutively, or be a lifetime member immediately preceding your candidacy. So being a lifetime member means you pay a large amount of money to support the organization, and you get a special class because of that. So Crispin and I are both lifetime members. We both became lifetime members before we had 20 years in the org, so we both paid $2,000. And so for that, we wanted to give the organization an influx of cash because we had the ability to do so. And for that, we become lifetime members. And lifetime members are their own special class, the constituency in themselves. And so just remember, overall, of everything I said, there's 2 arms, right, of the directorate: directorate staff and the directorate, right? The directorate are the RDs, directorate staff are the people that help run the organization. RDs help oversee the regions. Then above us is the executive board. Any executive board is there to provide board governance or oversight to ensure that the organization and its leadership comply with the fiduciary responsibility to its members, to its organization, to its culture, to its history, and to its founders. So that is, in a nutshell, what our governance structure is. Now, the one last thing that's most important, right, and I always leave this for last, is the highest governing entity in our organization is the conclave. And the conclave is not the events, right? We call the events the conclave, but in the governing document, which is the Constitution, the conclave is actually the delegates meeting, right? And at the delegates meeting, that's where we handle all of our business. We take our votes, We do our changes, our revisions to the Constitution and bylaws. We do our annual reporting. We allow the brothers to ask us questions on certain reports, give us feedback, and that is the place where all final decisions are made. In between conclaves, which take place once a year, the executive board governs the organization, but the conclave supersedes the executive board. That is the highest governing statute or highest governing entity in our organization. So now that I've given you all that, I will ask if anybody has any questions. There's no such thing as a bad question. Ask the question down before Brother Christopher goes into the next few sections of this training.
When is our international delegates meeting?
Our international delegates meeting this year is July, I believe, 26th. It's Thursday. It's Thursday of the conclave. The conclave is the 7th through the 31st?
Yeah.
So I guess it's the 27th then actually, right? Yeah. So it's that Thursday, and it takes place from 11 to 5 o'clock. It's pretty fast considering all the information we have to disseminate to the brothers, because they need to know about every operating section of this organization. There's a lot of moving parts. Trust me, and when you sit down in that meeting, it's pretty invigorating, because you see a bunch of men who are your brothers, who are Black men, who are sitting looking at pie charts, graphs, statistics, analytics, to see the best way that we can operate as a business and serve communities. So we're taking the Fortune 500 approach to serving or effective service for our communities. And so you can't know it or see it unless you're in the room. And so there is a actual fee that you have to pay that when you to enter the meeting, but we've lowered it for undergraduates. So you'll see that when you go look at the packages and you go to sign up and pay for your events. So do we have any questions from the gentleman? Anything?
My apologies, I just came in. What did I miss?
Who was that?
Sebastian.
Hold on. I just gave him international governing structure.
Okay.
Anybody any questions?
I have one. That delegates meeting, that's included in like the packages that are on 365, like the 171.
It is.
Cool, got you.
All right. Okay. So if you don't have any questions, we'll move on to Christmas so we can move through the rest of the agenda. But just remember that there's no such thing as a dumb question. The only dumb question is the one that you haven't asked. So you still have time. You have our phone numbers. You have my phone number. Give me a call at any point in time. Make sure to know this stuff, because you got to know the rules to the game if you want to win in it. Okay. So pay attention, take notes, and know all of this stuff, because we're going to test you on it. When we see you, we're going to ask questions, just like people ask us questions. It's part of sharpen the steel. All right, go ahead, Christmas. On you, sir.
Thank you very much, President McDougal. Just to reiterate, our conclave, our delegates meeting is very important. The expectation is that all of you be there. We have a dress code for that. I will explain that later on in the meeting. But it is very important to understand how we do business and what the expectation and what our guidance is going into the future. So the expectation again is for you guys to be there. All right, so let's understand how we operate. Our fiscal year starts September 1 and it ends August 31st, right? So when we say fiscal year, we talk about the calendar year. For most people, the calendar year starts on January 1 and it ends on December 31st. For Groove, how we do business, how we operate from September 1 to August 31st. Each year, September 1st, we have to pay our annual dues. For you guys, we have a flat fee where you can pay your dues in a lump sum, or you can pay by a monthly program, a subscription. If you after November 1, we incur a $10 late fee. So some of you guys are going to be officers in your chapter. We just put a pop in place where all leadership positions, myself, Ahmad, your chapter presidents, your regional directors, everyone, whatever leadership position you hold locally, regionally, or internationally, all of us are required to have our dues paid by October 1 as a deadline. If you do not pay your dues by 1, you are then suspended from that position until you become financial with the international office. So what does that mean? All right, I'm the president of my chapter. You know, let's use Tuskegee, right? You guys are starting your chapter. Matt, you're the president, and you don't pay your dues by October 1st. You have to give up that position until you pay your dues. After you pay your dues, you'll then resume your office as president of the Tuskegee. All right, so we want to make sure that we stay on top of our dues. Our dues is what drives the organization forward. Dues and membership. All right, so we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to my baby. First off, do I have any questions before I move on? Are we all clear about what's expected of us from our dues and from that standpoint?
Yes, sir.
Cool. For spring 23.
Can I add something like for dues specifically?
Sure.
All right, so we're clear. If a man is not in good financial standing, not only can he not be a leader at any level, he also cannot see lines or orientation processes at all. He cannot be in contact with people that are online at all, because that person is not invested in an organization. He presents a considerable liability for us, right? They're not allowed to speak in chapter meetings, nor regional meetings, nor conclave meetings. In fact, they're not allowed inside the conclave meeting at all. They're not allowed to represent the organization in any shape, form, or fashion. Not allowed to go speak to a venue, a school, or anything, or anybody on behalf of Groove. The only thing they could really do is wear a T-shirt, honestly, and have a hamburger at a cookout. Besides that, nothing else can be done unless a person's in good financial standing. And that protects our organization. Plus, we know that it takes resources in order to move this thing forward, in order to operate this organization. So without those resources, without investments from the fellowmen, we don't even have an organization. So it's very important that every man that is a member pay their dues and contribute, and they receive the money back tenfold in many different ways that you'll learn over time. That's all I got, Christmas. Back to you.
Absolutely. Just to piggyback off of that, we've set a standard already. We've set a standard already where it's not acceptable anymore to operate without being in good financial standing with the organization. You all on this call are our future and our young leaders in this organization. It is okay to tell people that you interact with that it is their membership responsibility to pay their dues. You all learned that page just recently. That is what we believe in. That's what, you can't move this thing forward without it, right? So you guys can stand on that, and you have, if you guys need any assistance, you have President McDougal's number and you have my number, and we will back you up. Any other questions before we move on? We good? Still got you guys? All right, everybody put their hands up. All right, cool. All right, making sure everybody's still alive. Great. All right, so let me introduce you guys to the database that I was discussing with some of you. We have a new engine, a new tool that the organization is using to connect with fellowmen, to pay our dues, where we store all of our data, all of our financials, all of our confidential documentation. It's where we distribute job descriptions. You know, if brothers are looking to change jobs or jump into jobs, we post jobs there. This is what we call Membership 365. This is our one-stop shop communication platform. So as you see here, you'll get a welcome message. and then you'll get a portal video that you guys can play to show you how to navigate through this system. At the bottom, you'll see here, it'll give you upcoming events from an international perspective. You guys, if you start booking your homecomings and planning that stuff, you can send me the information. We can add it to this so people know when homecoming is coming, so you can get more people on your yards and all that information is up. To the right of that, you'll see we have upcoming events, which is our international conclave. We have, let me just load some of this up so you can see it. You'll get a calendar view, and then if you go to list view, you'll see all of the events that we have coming up. The pool party, which is on the 28th, the all-white party, the sneaker soiree, which is a sneaker ball where you're gonna come in your best outfit, with the fly sneakers that you could put on with it. And then we have, if you click into this, it'll take you to registration to pay for the ticket for these events. Now, workspaces. Workspaces is where you want to send out you guys heard of a discussion thread before. So any topic that you guys want information on, you want to talk to brothers, you want to bring up about anything, you can go under membership workspaces and post a topic here. So you'll see we have different threads here that we're talking about different things, conclave updates. From the international office, we'll post under the important news from the international office. So you'll be able to see information that is coming from the top down. I already discussed events. Directory. A lot of brothers are traveling right now. People are going to see brothers in other states, and they want to get in contact with them. This directory is all of the financial fellowmen in Groove 5 Groove right now. So you can do a search either by name up here. You can search by profession if you're looking to get in contact with somebody in the nursing field or IT or a lawyer or anything that interests you, any profession that interests you, you'll be able to find them here and see who's attached to it. Also, you can look up brothers that are in a particular chapter. So let's go through one contact here. So Fellowman Walter Adams, he's a project manager, right? You see here, he has a membership number. Each of you have been given a number as you've been registered to this database. At a later date, you're going to receive a dues card, a membership card, and on that membership card, it'll have your ID number. That ID number stays with you for life. The status, you'll see active. Active means that they are financial. They are in good financial standing with the office, and it'll tell you what membership type they are. So Fellowman Adams is a lifetime member. You'll have an email address if you want to reach out to him, contact them like, hey, brother, I'm interested in project management. You can reach out to him and, he'll give you more information, or you can call him. You'll have the number here. So you can look up from there. So I'll show you one thing. So you can see how many people are financial in your chapter. You can look up chapters, right? My chapter is the Long Island Graduate Chapter. So when we run this, I have 2 pages worth of brothers that's here. As you see, I'm at the top of the list. I'm a lifetime member. I'll change my picture at some point and you'll see people here, right? As you go down. So each and every one of you guys are attached to a chapter, and your chapter is here and you can pull those up. For the directory, I was mentioning about looking up jobs. So Groove has this initiative called Project Gain. Project Gain it's an initiative that allows brothers to network with one another to find jobs, to find internships, or if brothers are looking for career changes. This gives you the ability to look up a certain industry of work and then be able to reach out to that brother and kind of talk to them and find out. So I'm in IT. My line brother Napoleon, he's in IT. I have to update my record or I'll be listed here. So you'll see when you log in, you have to fill out a contact form. That contact form will give you all of the information that will be distributed here. So yeah, let me move on. All right, files. All of our important documentation is under the files section. Here you'll find our national publication, international publication called A Sword and Spear. It's our magazine where brothers are featured. I'm sure some of you will be featured in the next one that's coming out. Also, we have a vendor list. This vendor list will tell you all of the entities that have paid a fee to become a licensed vendor of Group 5 Group. So you'll be able to have contact information, how to reach out to them. If they have a website, you will be able to get onto their website and see what materials they have for you to purchase and rock her on your campuses. Also, Ahmad mentioned our financial reports. Every month we put out a report that will tell you who's financial. It'll tell you where we spend all of our dollars, so you know where it's coming. And we also have a community service report. All chapters are required to do community service. For our graduate chapters, we have to do 8 community service projects for the year. Our undergrads, they're required to do 4 for the year. Our virtual chapter.
No, they got 8.
Sorry.
8 for undergrads.
Thank you. I apologize. They have 8 community service projects that they have to complete, and our virtual alumni chapters, they have 4. So that is pretty much 2 per quarter. All right, so like I said, also our marketing material is here. The copies of the shield, if you want to put it on a t-shirt, a flyer, stuff like that. We have vector images here for you to pull off to put on flyers, documentation, even if you're trying to create your own para and become a vendor. The job bank, like I was discussing earlier, Element posts different jobs here that you can apply for: MTA, air traffic controllers, IT. I'm always posting IT positions here that are posted in New York. Some of them are remote, and you get to use that as well. The last 2 things, we have the Groove Store, which will, we'll be able to put more stuff up here, but basically if you want to purchase a pin, or we have a 60th conclave package, we're going to be adding more stuff to our store in the near future. So you can come here, click on it, choose how many items you want to purchase, and then pay for it by card. Lastly, we have the video library, which is where all of you are going to be spending, you're probably going to be spending your most time. So Tyreek and the undergraduate strategic growth committee have been working diligently to make videos of all of our strolls and steps. They've broke it down into chunks that you can learn from. As you can see here, the people's elbow, the entire stroll, and then broken down into 3 parts. And then the ultra zone, you have the entire video, and then it's broken down into 4 parts. Tyreek and Jaden will be uploading more videos in the near future. Do we have any questions before I move on about membership 365? I know it's a lot of information, but questions will help. All right, cool. So each of you, when you log in, please go to my account, and then you're gonna go to my directory listing. So the homework assignment for you all is in the next 48 hours to log into membership 365 and to fill out your directory listing. So as you come in here, you'll scroll to the bottom, you'll click edit. And then here, you'll update your information, right? What industry you work in. All of you guys will mark student, when you became a member, what chapter you belong to. If your chapter is not listed, please contact me. We'll add it to there, and what area you live in, just so we can get you guys speaking. I don't want to move on without hearing some of your voices. So, what regions do you think you guys operate in? Who knows? Who can tell me what region they operate in? You can unmute yourself and then jump in.
South Atlantic.
South Atlantic.
South Atlantic.
Right. Anybody else?
South Atlantic.
All right, Kenny.
North.
North Atlantic.
Thank you, Darius. So part of the organizational structure you'll see here, we have regions that are broken up. The New England region, we have Rhode Island, Boston, Massachusetts. In the North Atlantic, we have New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware. Mid-Atlantic, you have the DMV. Atlantic is the most unique region and group. The Atlantic region is only North Carolina. So that is a very historic thing for group, because most regions have several states attached to them. The South Atlantic, you have South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida, right? South Central, you have Louisiana, Texas, and I believe that's it. Great Lakes, you have Michigan, Chicago, Illinois. I think they're working out more the Midwestern states that's there. And then far west, you have California, Portland, pretty much the West Coast. And internationally, we have France, Ghana, Nigeria, and then soon we'll have, we have the UK, and then last, in a couple of weeks, we'll have the Dominican Republic. So those are our regions right now. All right, let me get back to the agenda. All right. The undergraduate standing meeting. Tariq, Kakashi, and the undergraduate strategic committee, they host a bi-weekly meeting. They discuss different topics. Tariq, are you still on?
Yeah, I'm still on. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you just brief synopsis?
Of the undergrad committee?
Yeah.
Oh, got you. Say that one more time.
The meeting that you
Got you. Hey, what's up, guys? This is Tariq Abdullah, GK Kakashi. I'm the vice chair of undergrad growth. So twice a month we hold undergraduate meetings. It's basically just like a central location for all undergrad chapters to come on a call. And really, you can see what other chapters are doing. You can ask questions if you have any questions about anything. You can let brothers know about events. So if brothers want to travel to your campus, they'll know way in advance. And in general, if you just don't know what you're doing, hop on a call, listen in, ask questions, and it'll give you some direction on where you can go. If there's somewhere you want to improve in business-wise, you need a job, you need help with finding brothers with a certain skill set that you're trying to learn. You're trying to get better at stepping and strolling. You want to know how to travel, how to make money, whatever the case may be. You can hop on that call, pretty much ask whatever you need, pretty much. But brothers don't know to help you if you don't let us know that you need help. So does anybody have any questions? Oh, by the way, I posted meeting links in the Discord. I typically post at least 3 to 4 days before the meeting. The meetings are typically every other Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. If you're on a central time zone, that's going to be at 7 p.m. So if you guys are not in the Discord, again, I repeat again, if you are not in the Discord, download Discord, shoot me a text so I can send you a link to the Discord. Once you're in, make sure you agree to the rules, and I have to assign your role. So let me know if you're South Atlantic, Mid-Atlantic, North Atlantic, New England, whatever the case may be. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Sir's my dad. He keeps calling me Kakashi. That's all. It's all good. I'm not that old yet.
Thanks, Tariq. We appreciate it.
Of course.
Please, brothers, I've been on that meeting a few times. It's very insightful. It's very impactful. It's a great opportunity for you guys to meet different undergraduate brothers and to, you know, kind of see who your who your counterparts are in different areas. So please, I advise you to jump on. Tyreek, if you can post a link to the Discord in the chat and toss your number in there.
Hello.
Also, you also can go to directory and look up Tyreek and then go from there. All right. Appreciate it. So just want to talk to you. So our governing documents, they can be found on Membership 365. If you type in con, short for Constitution, you'll see this here. Each of you, we don't print them out currently right now, but you can go in, click on it, and it'll download a PDF version to your computer. Like your black book, you have to have your nuts. It is very important that you protect our Constitution and bylaws. If you print it out, make sure that you know where you put it and it's away from your roommate, your girl, your parents. You know, you are a part of a secret society, and you know, this document is how we've been governing ourselves, and we continue to make updates to it. So this document is a living document. So you can come here and learn a lot about our infrastructure, a lot about our governing principles and rules, all in this document here. The next document that I want to talk about is the administrative manual. So we have two documents that we operate off of. The second document is our Groove Administrative Manual or Handbook. In that, you will find out how much dues cost from a paper, like this is all paperback at this point. How much our dues cost. It'll tell you, it has all of our forms that are there, which are now electronic. I will take you to a link that has all of our forms in electronic version. And in there, you will have the orientation process that's in there. It'll give you a step-by-step, week-to-week, what's needed to do the tap-in ceremony, the tap-out ceremony, all of the things that most of you guys who just recently got offline, all of that you went through in the beginning and at the end, all of that stuff is in this handbook right here. So please open it, read it, get familiar with it. And again, it's something that you have to protect, just like your black book. Do not leave this out. Do not leave this anywhere that anybody can get access to it other than you. Any questions?
Let me piggyback off you. And so also in this handbook is our private information that you only learn by becoming a member. That's part of the manual that speaks to the orientation and leadership development process. Also, there is the burial ceremony. So when one brother gets buried and he moves on to exist with the ancestors, we go through a ceremony in his honor out of respect for him, his life, and his family. So that's in there as well. The forms that you see in there, they are legacy forms. So we don't use paper anymore for anything. All of our forms are digital. You'll find that Membership 365. But we must keep the forms there just in case one day all the computers go down. We got to have paperback copies of all of our governing documents. But you'll see what the forms look like, and they give you the information on there. But you want to use, or should I say, you have to use the JOT form that we have. We have several JOT forms for all the different requirements or things you have to utilize. And there's Crispin showing you the one-stop shop place where you can find everything that you need. But overall, the Constitution and bylaws, Constitution sets the structure of the organization, and the bylaws gives you instruction on how to run your organization. So we all are required to live by the bylaws when we're representing Groove Fi Groove, and the Constitution when we're representing Groove Fi Groove. The handbook gives more context to some of the more or most important functions of the organization, and it is adjoined by language in the Constitution and bylaws that refers to it. So that language is what makes the administrative handbook binding, right? And so the Constitution, in order to amend the Constitution, you have to present it in one conclave and then bring it back to the following conclave to change the Constitution, revise the Constitution. And remember, the Constitution is the part of the book that talks about our structure. Now, to amend the bylaws, which gives the instructions on operating or operations, that needs to be presented 6 months prior to a conclave, for which it can be circulated amongst all the fellowmen, and then it will be discussed and voted on in the conclave. So 6 months for a bylaws amendment. It's 2 years for a constitutional amendment, because, I mean, honestly, you don't really want to change the structure of the organization too much. And if you do, it needs to be thoroughly vetted and thought through, and it needs to be well conceived. That's why it's such a longer period of time. And the bylaws, operations have to change. You have to adapt. You have to continue to change and mold yourself and your organization and remain agile so that you can meet the challenges and the needs of each year, of each decade, of each era. So just remember, those are the rules to engage. If you don't know the Constitution and bylaws, you're not going to know how to defend yourself in a way that is professional, that is factual, that is realistic, and that is binding, right? And so that's for anything. Now, in your region, nowadays, you're not going to really have to worry about it. But someday you're going to be my age, and you're going to have to know that book in order to push the organization in the way you think is best, because it has to always comply with Constitution and bylaws. And people will tell you things when they're trying to get around Constitution and bylaws that are just not true. You got to be aware. Same thing with the admin handbook. If you don't have the rule book, then how can you play the game?
Do we have
Go
any
ahead,
questions?
Kristen.
Matt, you're on mute.
Yeah, I'm about to ask how we access this link tree.
I just posted it in the chat. So you all should just please save this link. This link tree is all of our electronic forms right now. So most of you, if you filled out, in order to pledge, you have to fill out the new member application. That application is only to be given after you've held an interest meeting and conducted an interview, and you choose to move forward with that candidate, and they want to become members of Group 5 Group. You would be able to hand this send them the link, and then for them to fill out the application, pay the fee, and then upload the required documents. All of the instructions is on that link. Each of you received a certificate. Let's say you've lost that certificate, or you have a line that's going over, that's going to become new members. You would go to this form, fill out either a replacement, or you can fill out for your new line for them to get certificates for when they finish the process. Let's say you have a guy that is interested in group, and you want to make sure that we get all his contact information. You give him this link, the men interested in group. That way we have his telephone number, his email address. We find out how old he is. Some people actually use this to get in contact with us just off the street without talking to anybody. Some of you guys are going to be starting new chapters. Each year with dues, we have to pay a chapter tax. Graduate members pay a chapter tax, virtual undergrad chapters. For the undergrads, some of you require an insurance policy to operate on campus. You can find that application here as well. That requires a fee as well. With the membership application that the Swanksman put in, if you're about to run a line, you have to fill out a chapter orientation program application. That application gets sent to your regional director, the membership director as well as the international president. Very important. Community service form. Earlier I mentioned that each chapter are required to do 8 community service projects for the year. You can walk out on the street, do a community service with your chapter, take a couple of pictures, And if you don't fill out this form, it doesn't count. What we can track, what we can record is the most important piece. Prez, you have something to say?
I was just gonna, when you're done, I want to go back to the insurance to give them a little more insight into it.
Got it.
Keep going. You're right on point.
Thank you. So with the community service form, if you don't track it, if you don't fill it out, it doesn't count towards your numbers. You pretty much, I mean, yes, you help somebody, which is great, but you have to understand from running a business, we need to track everything. And us being able to track it, we'll be able to go and get sponsorships. We'll be able to create bigger partnerships with companies that'll make life easier for the fellow. So it is very important that you guys track your community service hours. You'll see there's a breakdown of how we list our community service projects. And because they fall under a particular category for each of them, you know, for food or providing hygiene products, you know, feeding the hungry, like all of that is broken up into categories, and you'll be able to find out what those categories are once you click on that link. So you upload the names that's there, the amount of hours you spent, and you upload the photos. Any questions there before I kick it over to Ahmad on the insurance policy? You guys are really quiet. It sounds like you guys are understanding everything.
Wait, I got a question.
Shoot, what's good?
So like anybody on the street was to be like, oh, I would like to join Groove, we could just send them this link, right? That Linktree link?
So
No.
So there's a process to it. So let's say a guy walks up to you and says, oh, I want to become a member of Group Our Group. First off, you tell him, you know, thank you. You know, I appreciate you want even, you know, considering my organization. What you want to do next is get his contact information, right? You can go to Linktree yourself and then send him the men interested in Groove form where he can fill that out and we get a contact information. That contact then goes to the regional director and the membership director. At that point, we have 72 hours to contact that person and say, hey, you know, this guy is interested in Groove. We'll reach out to him, we'll talk to him, and then we'll put him in contact with the closest chapter, either undergraduate or graduate from there, so we can start the process. Typically for you guys that are on campus and you guys are meeting people, you guys are gonna exchange Instagrams or telephone numbers and talk to these candidates. You wanna hold an interest meeting first. You wanna tell them who we are, what we're about, what we do, right? That is where informational interest meeting is your starting point. After that, you've reached out to them, so please, after you have your meeting, 48 hours, 72 the most, you should be conducting a follow-up call with them. Not a text message, not an Instagram direct message. You should be calling them to find out, hey, what did you like about the meeting? What didn't you like? You know, get feedback from them. Find out what they thought of the meeting and the organization and see where they are in the process. If they need more information, ready to go. At that point, you bring that back to your chapter, you discuss it, you invite them out to your events, you invite them out to, you know, you guys go out and hang out on Wednesdays. We wear G's on Wednesdays. Y'all hanging out, y'all chilling out, invite them out, feel them out, see who they are, right? You don't want to just let anybody into the organization, but you want to feel out if you have a good candidate. You want to vet. This is the vetting process at this point. And then next, you want to invite them to a community service. We don't want anybody that's not going to do any community service with this organization, right? We're a community service-based organization. If they cannot wake up at 8 o'clock and you're waking up at 8 o'clock to go to a community service, you're no longer a candidate, right? And you can let them know that, like, we have standards that we have to meet as brothers, and they have to meet as candidates that are interested in this organization. After you got a feel of them and you say, all right, look, this is a solid guy. These are some solid cats. You guys will conduct an interview. You ask them questions, get to know who they are. You've seen them in the field when you hang out with them. You've seen them in the field when you've done community service with them, and now you're interviewing them to see how they answer questions, what they see about what are they going to do with their future, what they feel they can bring to this organization, and then it's a conversation between the chapter and that individual that is seeking membership in our organization. After you conduct that interview and you're satisfied and you want to move forward, then you give them the membership application at that point. It is only until at that point you give them that application, because at that point, we're taking money, now we're taking your transcript, now we're taking letters of recommendation, all of the things that you guys had to fill out in order to get online. Now we're taking that point. That is your last step. Like when you collect money, you are comfortable that this guy is about to get online, right? You should not have any insecurities or worries about bringing in this guy at this point, because you've thoroughly vet him and these people out. Did that answer your question, Jay?
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it. Do we have any questions on what I just said there about that process? Because you guys are about to go back to campus or start a summer line. You guys should be vetting people properly. So are we all clear about what that looks like?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yo, Big Bang, if you pull on your braid any harder, it's gonna come out. Yeah, I'm looking at everybody right now. So just know I'm paying attention too. So hopefully you guys are still paying attention. Wonderful. So the community service form, I just want to pull it up and I'm going to kick it over to Ahmad. So you're going to put, anybody can fill out the community service form. You have your name, your chapter, your region. I asked you about your region because it's important. You don't want to put the wrong region. The name of the community service, the types of community service, food for thought we have here. Anytime we're doing any feeding initiatives, block to block is where we clean up any neighborhoods, any parks, any highways. Group 5 Cares is basically any kind of community service outside of food for thought or block to block. And I'll get into our mentoring and scholarship from there. So for me, I have a nonprofit called Veronica's Way. I build computer labs and I bring them to the West Indies and Africa to build computer labs for kids. Whenever I do community service with Veronica's Way, I fill this out and I put it under Group 5 Cares. All right. Mentoring, we have a mentoring platform. It's called Groove Leadership Academy. That is where we go into middle schools, preferably high schools, and we mentor kids from that standpoint, getting ready to go to college, giving them that experience, getting them prepared as they go on. And then scholarships. Here's where we track, if we give a scholarship out to a student or we create an endowment fund for that school, we track that here. You put a description of the community service that you did, the date, the address, depending on if you did it at a particular location. You list the name of members that was there. You track the amount of hours. You could put the scholarship amount that you put. And then lastly, you use the browse file to upload your photos or videos to let, documentation is key, right? So this is where we document and it shows up in the Sword and Spear. These submissions of this form, it goes to our Sword and Spear. So you'll see your community service pop up in there. Any questions there before I go? I kick it over to Ahmad. So we're all clear on the community service form. Now, Crossfire, I think you're muted.
You're talking to me?
No, Crossfire is trying to say something.
Okay.
I can't hear you, man. I don't know if it's your AirPod or something, but can't hear you. I think he just joined, come back in. Ahmad, you want to kick off the undergrad insurance policy?
Yes. So some years ago, probably like 10, we were started to be required to purchase insurance policies outside of our national liability policy for undergraduate chapters. So the cost back then was $800 for a year. And so over time, as more universities required it, now realize every university is not required. So if it's not required, you don't need to purchase one. But if it is required, then what we've done is negotiated the price down to $500, and of that $500, the international office pays $250, and the local undergraduate chapter pays $250. So the effective price drops from $800 to $250, and that covers you for a year, and that's $1 million policy that meets all the requirements for all of the different universities that do require an insurance policy. And what you simply would do was submit the JOT form with the payment, and then I get an alert through Jaden Weeks. I go to the insurance company, I send them their money, get the invoice, and I get a COI. COI is a certificate of insurance. Once I get that COI, I send it back to the person who filled out the form, and then you take that COI and give that to the university if it's required. So that's the process for undergraduate insurance policy. And all of the rules for your school as they pertain to organizations are in the student handbook or the code of conduct. Some schools have both. Some schools just have a student handbook. So when you're speaking to individuals on campus, as far as administration, for one, never do it initially without an elder to start the conversation. Secondly, have read the student handbook and the code of conduct, so they can't just tell you anything. Whatever they tell you is going to have to comply with their governing document. Their student handbook and code of conduct is like their constitution and bylaws. So make sure you read that. And that also tells you what are the requirements to be a recognized entity, as far as the numbers, as far as the GPA, as far as the required interest, as far as the documentation, and so on and so forth. And when you have, and some of your elders are already engaged in university, they're going to require a packet to be submitted. We have an expansion pack. It's about 110 pages. It's got every single document that you would need to submit to get your chapter recognized on campus. So all you have to do for that is ask membership chair, or ask your elder, or your elder will tell you where to get it from, or he'll share a copy with you. And then all you have to do is edit some of the documentation to represent the school for which you're going to submit the packet for. All right, Kristen, back to you.
Thank you. Malachi, you had a question?
Yeah, so it was contained in the community service form. So so we put our region on there first, and then say if we do a community service event like somewhere else in a different region, we'll just put that region location.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. That was an easy one. Appreciate you, man.
And
Let me give you guys some free game. Matt, what's up?
I was just asking, when we do something with like in another region, that would count for that chapter right now, our chapter?
No, all right, let's say you come to New York and you do community service, right? You guys are Tuskegee. You guys are gonna fill out the community service. You're gonna put the address of where we went and did the community service. You'll put our region, but it's counting for both Long Island grad and Tuskegee, because you guys were there, right? So as long as you're there and you're partaking in it, it counts towards your chapter. The region is not to say like, all right, it's being counted for you. It's just kind of putting where you were. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got it.
All right, cool.
Oh, so that leads me to my question. Do our whole chapter have to be there?
No.
Like all our members? Okay.
All right, at least 2 members. You should be good to go from there. There's some chapters, like our virtual chapters, they're spread out all across America, right? So like there may be a Tuskegee virtual alumni chapter. There's guys in New York, guys in Georgia, some of them are spread apart. So we gave them the leeway to be able to do a community service wherever they are and count that towards their virtual alumni chapter. But for undergrads and grad chapters, at least two members we can count towards that.
Okay. So what if you can't get to? Cause like let's take for example, so what I'm doing, I'm going to do a community service event in Chicago. Cause that's so what if I was the only one out there? Would that still count?
Yes. Yes, we understand that you go home. We understand that, you know, you may be in a different location and you may not be able to get two members with you. We do understand from that standpoint. So yes, it will count towards it.
Okay.
All right.
The purpose is of that, I guess, point of distinction or specification is that we don't want a chapter of 20 guys where only one guy shows up, right? But if there are special circumstances like you're visiting or you're going back home and you see fit to go serve the community, then we'll count that. We'll respect that. Do your best to try to get people from Chicago grad or Chicago to come as well. But
Oh,
really, go ahead.
I thought you were saying like, you know how it's my Tuskegee guys. I have to get at least 2 Tuskegee guys. I'm working with I'm working with the Chicago chapter that's over there. It's not just going to be me there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so no, you'll be fine. The purpose
Okay.
is that, like, we don't want Tuskegee chapter 5 where only one guy shows up while you're at Tuskegee, or one guy at FAMU while you're at FAMU. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And we want, like, if you go to an undergraduate leadership conference, we would prefer all of you go, because naturally, realistically, every time we do undergraduate leadership conference, every single undergrad in attendance goes. But we want to push for y'all to look inside and say, we all need to be going to this thing, because we know at a minimum we're here together. 2 of us got to be there. Does it make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
All right, cool. Same thing at the conclave too. I'm sorry. We have a youth empowerment summit every year. That's considered a community service as well. If you attend, act as a chaperone, or you facilitate one of the modules, training modules or conversations. But y'all are new and you're undergrad, so I expect. Pardon me. I said y'all are new. You guys are undergrad, so I expect all the undergrads to attend that event, because that's where you have a really significant impact on youth, and they can see people that they could want, that they aspire to be, and it's really a powerful thing. And then the step show comes right after it, so there's no reason why brothers can't go there early, impart some wisdom onto the youth, and then move on to be a part of the step show. I mean, we look to the youth to be the future. We hold you guys to a high standard, and so we look at all of you as new leaders. So we hold you to the standard of a leader. You'll see Crispin, me, you'll see Fellerman Faust, I think I saw. You'll see all these brothers at everything. And so we expect the same from you, so you can be better than us when you get our age. Go ahead, Crispin.
Thank you, Prez. Before I move on, I just want to give you guys free game right here, right? So you said 250 for the insurance policy. You know, dues are $100 or $10 a month. You're gonna be traveling. You guys are gonna you're gonna need gas money. When I came in through Long Island grad, and then I started Adelphi Panther 6 chapter. We would host parties and different events to raise funds. We took those funds and then we paid for the insurance policy. We took those funds and we made sure that everybody was financial. And we took those funds to make sure that we had money to road trip and to attend these events. So some of you are working, which is great, and you come out of pocket. But when you're online, you have to fundraise. You have to learn how to raise capital at that point. You had the Swanksman Fund, right? Like these things, these are tools that we taught you in how to make life easier for you as undergrads. So my suggestion to you is, as you guys go home for the summer, you guys talk about what events that you want to host, that you can raise some funds to help lighten the burden of the cost that you have, right? Conclave, traveling, homecoming, you know, the insurance policy. If you have a couple of events, you can pay for all of that for the year, like quickly. And also some of you have strong alumni chapters. You had the Swanksman Fund when you were online. Tap into those brothers. Some of these brothers are retired or are much older, and they could support you if you are showing up to community service, if you're showing up to chapter meetings, and you're showing that you want to be a group and that you want to be involved. They may help you pay your dues, or even, you know, spot you, you know, gas money for community service and things like that, and road tripping. So it's important for you to network and like really get to know the graduate members that are in your area. They want to see you grow. They want to see you thrive. And in that, they'll open up their checkbooks and they'll help you out. So I'm not telling you to go stick your hand out and say, hey, give me some money. I'm telling you to go put in the work. And then if you need support, ask them and they got you. We take care of our own in New York. Ahmad take care of his own in New Jersey. Like, that's just what we do, right? So, and then when you guys graduate and you get into your jobs and you have the ones behind you, you help them out. That's what we do. We're always looking back. So let's get into our code. You know, I'm gonna try to wrap this meeting up shortly. Let's get into our code and conduct and protocols. So like I told you, when I spoke to most of you last week, we have a standard of doing things. We have a standard about how we conduct business. We have a standard about our public facing image when we go out there, right? I'm gonna get very basic with you. Our hygiene, right? When we are in the public, when we're doing community service, when we are interacting with women, school administration, anybody, we want to make sure that we have clean hygiene, right? We want to make sure that we're showering and we're using deodorant. We want to make sure that we're expressing proper hygiene at that point. We want to make sure that we're clean. You got beards, tighten up your beard. If you got hair, make sure your hair is done. Like, make sure you're presentable when you go out there. Grooves are quick, sharp, smooth, and they're debonair, right? Debonair, we look good no matter where we go out, no matter what we're doing, right? Let's talk about our dress code. When we're out, I'll start with probates. We're in all black at probates. Black hoodies, black t-shirts with Groove by Groove block letters, or jackets. You know, we're not wearing any other color outside of black, white, and gray. I think you know, Ahmad gives us a little leeway with gray there at that standpoint, but preferably we're asking for you to be in all black. When we're doing community service, when we're going to step shows, when we're going to homecoming or the cookout, anything where we're going to be snapping photos and documenting and putting ourselves out there, make sure you're in black and white. That means if you got red Jordans, leave those red Jordans for Tuesday, right? If you got yellow Jordans or whatever, or yellow fitted or whatever, leave that for another day. We're in black and white, right? Make sure that we're in our colors. We represent our colors to the fullest. We pledged hard. We bled for Groove Fi. We cried for Groove Fi. Let's make sure we represent that with the letters that we wear. Make sure that your letters are clean. There's no rips in it. There's no holes. If it's faded, talk to an older brother and get some new G's, right? If your joints are like, so my workout gear is my old letters from like 18 years ago, and it's faded at this point. I work out in it. I don't wear that out in public, right? So make sure that your G's are clean and it's well kept, right? You worked very hard to get these letters. Treat them with the respect that you projected to get it, right? So just hold on to it from that standpoint. Our business meetings. My hope is that you practice this locally to get prepared for the international delegates meeting. At our delegates meeting, you will not be permitted into the meeting if you are wearing nothing but what I'm about to mention. You have to have a black jacket, black slacks, black shoes, black socks, a white shirt, white collared shirt, black tie. You all got a silver pin. Lifetime members have a gold pin. We put it on our left lapel at that point. Anything outside of that, you will not be permitted into the meeting. Right? If you don't have a jacket, let us know. We will figure out how to get you a jacket. We will be lenient based on certain circumstances, but the requirement is set. The standard is set. So from that standpoint, right, you have your regional meetings. So I started at the conclave. That is our overarching meeting. Under that, you have a regional meeting. There's one per quarter at that point in each region. The expectation is that you show up to that meeting and you set the standard in that same attire. And then lastly, if you guys, we're getting to that point, we don't require it, but we are getting to that point where we will require it for you to wear that suit, that Groove business attire, dress code. at your chapter meetings. So we'll get there at some point, but practice makes perfect, right? So if you guys starting now, you guys are starting out your chapters, start from there. Be the standard. Lastly, that same requirement, that groove business attire is also required at funerals when we perform the last rites, when a brother has gone home to meet with our ancestors. Nothing outside of that is acceptable. I hope you guys understand. So are we clear? Black shirt, black jacket, black slacks, black socks, black shoes, white collared shirt, and your lapel, black tie, and the lapel pin on your left lapel. We're all clear? Can I get a thumbs up?
Yes, sir.
Let me add something to that. So look, if you don't have a jacket, don't put a sweater on. Just come with the white shirt. But when I was your age, there are these things called what are they called?
Thrift stores?
Say it. Yes, you can go to a thrift store, go in an expensive neighborhood, find a thrift store in an expensive neighborhood, and you can find a good black jacket for a very, very cheap price. My first suit was a DKNY suit from a thrift store. It cost me $15. So if you don't have a jacket or a suit, your money's low, go to a thrift store in an affluent area and go get you a black suit from there for $35, $40, $55. And you're gonna need that over and over again, because that's what we call our business attire. That's our uniform.
If you are really struggling at that point and you need assistance, please reach out. Let us know and we'll figure out how we can support you. Okay? Social media content. Please, please, please pay attention to this part. This is very important. Some of you guys are learning how to stroll and step. Practice makes perfect, right? You just got offline. I shared this with the brothers in Florida and the brothers in Georgia. You guys just got offline. Use the same time frame that you guys have been pledging and show up for set to have hold on, I'm sorry, give me 1 second. Sorry, I apologize. So keep that same time frame where you guys had set and use that for step practice. Until Ahmad, Jaden, Tyreek, or Mark Brentley signed off, please do not post any videos of you guys strolling until you guys have got clearance and sign off that you guys are good, right? We've worked very hard to create a standard for our publication, our digital footprint, right? We want to make sure that we are meeting those high standards. So it takes practice. It takes commitment to it, right? Some of you guys are in areas where there are no brothers within at least 2 hours of you, and you guys are going to have to represent group. So at that point, have practice. Invite Jaden, Tyreek, Mark Brentley, or Ahmad to your practice, so they can see how you guys are progressing, and they'll give you the sign off if you're gonna start recording yourselves and making videos and posting it on social media. If you're gonna post on social media, you guys strolling, let it be more than 2 people. If it's the 2 of you guys, please don't post it where you guys are doing something. It looks bad, especially where some of you have larger chapters at. So please, the message here is take the time to practice on your steps and strokes. Make sure that you got sign off before you create videos and post them and you look bad. We don't want anybody looking bad, right? We don't want anybody looking like they're off beat. We don't want anybody looking like they don't know the stroke. If you don't know the stroke, go to the back, right? The person in the front is the person that knows the stroll the best, right? Go all the way to the back if you don't know the stroll. And if you really don't know it, don't do it, right? So we're on the same page. Posting on social media. We do not curse. We do not We do not violate anyone without letters on. If you're getting into any kind of beef or anything like that, remember, you are a member of an international nonprofit organization. It is important that we operate as grooves at a high standard. We do not degrade women. We do not mistreat them. We do not talk to them. Think about your mother. You don't want anybody talking to your mother crazy. Don't talk to any woman crazy online as a member of this organization. If somebody is coming at you, your best bet is to walk away or don't respond, right? That is the rule of law. Please do not interact with anybody and go crazy online. All of it is digital, all of it stays online. It doesn't matter if it's deleted. People can screenshot it and say, look what this member of Group Five Group said. Look what this member of Group Five Group did. We don't downgrade, we don't downplay, we don't harass, we don't degrade women, period. That is not who we are. Think of your mother. Before you go and do anything, think of your mother. Think of the pledge that you made to this organization. We won't tolerate it. If we, from the international office, find out, we will be in contact with your regional director and your chapter, and we will figure out the necessary actions to move forward from there. Is that understood? Can I get a thumbs up? Sweet. Social media. From what I understand, I like it. I love it right now. On Wednesdays, we wear jeans. Take a picture, post it, hit the tag a brother, right? Our international president, Ahmad McDougal, he created an initiative called Dress Like a King on Martin Luther King Day. Every Martin Luther King Day, we dress up as kings, whatever that means to you. And then we have a border that we upload photos and we put that out there. Chapters, you guys are now starting. Take some professional photos in suits, in your black suits. Take some professional photos of you guys in your G's. We want to put out high quality digital content, right? High quality digital content. That goes for videos and that goes for pictures. If you have a line and your line is more than 5 members, Ahmad, you can correct me if I'm wrong. The international office will put in towards a videographer for the probate and the trailer video. Am I correct in saying that?
Absolutely.
Yes. So a line of 5 and more, we will put in money towards the videographer to make sure that we're putting out high content. As you go on Watch the Yard, you'll see that we have a couple of videos on there already. Our goal is to continue to get on Watch the Yard. As we get on Watch the Yard, we continue to interact with so many different people that didn't know who we were yesterday, right? So remember, high quality digital content at that point. Any questions?
Just to add a little context to the Dress Like a King, it's very important that we understand the purpose of that day as an entity, as an organization. We're trying to dispel myths through posting of or inundating social media with positive images of Black men and Black families. So you can post a picture of you and your sister, you and your son, you and your daughter, you and your grandmother, you and whoever else, whoever's close to you, you and your line brothers, you and your chapter brother, you and your elder, but everybody has to either be dressed in professional attire or in African garb. So one or the other. No sweatsuits, no shorts, no nothing. It's got to fall in line because it's got to be a positive image. It can't be an average, everyday image. So, and make sure that you take part in it and take pictures with your family. I always have a picture with my wife, my son, sometimes with my father, so on and so forth. And none of those people are grooves except for me, but we're just trying to dispel those images and also promote good images of our fellowship and of our membership so people can get to know us from that side as well.
Thank you, Chris. All right, lastly, some important things for you guys. Some important things that I want to share with you guys, our social media. So LinkedIn is our business professional social media platform. We have a page here. Please, if you guys are on LinkedIn, go look up Groove by Groove, follow it today. We share stuff. We share fellow men that are getting new job promotions, are hitting highlights in their career. We show that on this platform. On Facebook, Facebook is one of the biggest tools that we have outside of Membership 365. We have a group called Group by Group. You can search it. Most of you are already in it. A lot of information is shared on this private group. It's a private group, so it's all internal. I'm not gonna say it's 100% secure, but this is as secure as we get it. Our secure platform is Membership 365. Here you'll find, you'll be able to network and interact with different brothers. You'll see lines that go over. You'll see brothers that are trying to promote for different parties or whatever, or just sharing G-days and information. You'll get that here. Another group is, no, that's not it. That's my personal stuff. Hold on. The next group is Groove and Swing Family. Should have, here it is. Groove/Swing Family. That is our platform or closed group with our sisters. You'll see a bunch of brothers in here and sisters in here. Again, the same apply. We don't violate any of our sisters in there. We do not talk back or ridicule our leadership in this group right here. If you have a problem, if you have a discrepancy, if you have an issue, do not bring it to this platform. You have my number, you have the president's number, and you have the other group. If you have any problem, bring it there. Don't bring it in here. In here is all positivity. It should be all positivity. So keep all negativity out. If you have questions, ask it in the group, right? Please just keep it all positive in here. We want to make sure that we are a united front in this group. Press.
So remember a couple things about that group or any group. We have sisters and we love them. We're constitutionally bound. We are not the same organization. So you pledge Groove, your loyalty and allegiance is with Groove primarily, initially, exclusively, but we also have love for and allegiance to our sister organization, but that doesn't mean they're us and we're not them. You will see that they will never reveal any of their private information, even down to how many financial members they have. That's one of those things we don't reveal either, because that's nobody's business but our own. Now, our financial members that went up by 300% in the last 3 years, but that doesn't mean we have to talk about it. We could just talk about the fact that it went up by 300%. We don't give any direct details to our governing documents. We never make any reference. Nobody can ask us about them, nor can we ever make reference to them. If we make a decision internally with regard to how we operate, or if we make a decision with regard to what our brand is and who we define ourselves as, you only speak to what has been publicly released. Anything that refers to our governance, internal governance, we do not talk about in public. We talk to each other about on your private, on your personal pages. If you don't have something positive to say about Groove, don't say anything at all about it. Again, you have all the contacts you need in the world if you have a problem, and we're into listening to all types of critiques. That's how we make the organization better, by listening to critiques, listening to people's problems, and trying to find solutions. We're solution makers in this administration. And all the brothers that you will see, for the most part, the majority of them are solution makers as well. So if you have a problem as a men's organization, in the spirit of manhood, go directly to the individual you have the problem with, or go directly to the leadership if you have the problem with the organization at the time. Let us try to find a solution. Remember, we're family. We're going to be here forever. So while you're on this earth, for as many years as you're able to live, as many years I'm able to live, we're going to be brothers. So treat it like a family. Keep your family business to yourself. into Groove.
Couldn't say it any better than that. Lastly, Instagram. You'll see, we have our international page, G5G underscore 1962. If you go and search G5G, you should start seeing, a bunch of, chapters at that point, chapter pages. The standard is, if you're creating a page for your chapter, it is G5G hyphen and the name of the chapter. Chapters are typically made by the mascot, of your school and the subsequent number. So before, my school was chartered, Panther 6 at Delphi University, there were 5 other Panther chapters. We were the 6th, so we're called Panther 6 chapter. Now, President McDougal made an amendment from there. We now have the ability to add an African name to our chapter to help with if you haven't started a chapter at your school yet before and you are coming in. We wanted to make sure that we distinguish, have a distinguishable name, and Ahmad can speak more on that based on, I think it's African kings and regions in Africa that you can choose from.
So part of the purpose is that, you know, we're an Afrocentric organization. Definition of Afrocentric is that it means that you believe that African and African American culture supersedes all other cultures. So that's why you're a Groove and not a member of a Greek organization, because you believe that African culture, African American culture supersedes all others. And so in doing that, we wanted to establish names that align us with that mindset. And so we had a bylaws amendment to where you'd have the chapter name. So if you're Tuskegee, you're Tiger 1. At FAMU, you're Rattler. At Mayat, or should I say Morehouse, you're Tiger 6. Then you're also able to adapt a name of African Kingdom, preferentially pre-colonial African Kingdom. For instance, my chapter's name is Tiger 5, but we're also the Zulu chapter. And you learn about that before you identify your chapter as that. So when people see it on your jacket, you can explain it. When people say, "Well, why is your name this?" You explain the legacy and the history of that kingdom. Also, you can choose a Swahili phrase. So our other phrase is Emojini and Nguvu. So we're the Tiger 5, Emojini and Nguvu Zulu chapter. And so you can choose all 3 of those names, or you can interchangeably use them at different times. So I got a sweater that says the Grambling State University Zulu chapter of Tiger 5. I mean of G5G. And so that's that branding piece. There's other things I have that say Tiger 5 with the tiger face. There's other things that I have that say Emojini and Nguvu in cursive. So you pick it and you clear it with the national office so that we know that you know what you're talking about and that you're picking something that not just sounds cool, but really means something to you and means something about the legacy of your chapter. And so it's important to start thinking about that too as well. Now, how that helps us, helps us establish our brand and separate ourselves from others. And also at certain points when you try to get recognized on campuses, they don't want you to be using their mascot because it's trademarked. And so when it's that case, that's when we go straight to the African-centered chapter name. Until we get recognized, then we can use any of the 3. So why do we have a Swahili phrase? Because when our brothers in Africa, our ancestors in Africa were fighting colonialism, there were so many different dialects. And so Swahili was the one dialect that a lot of the leaders would have understood, and that's what they use to strategically plan how to defend themselves. So that's why Swahili is so important in America right now, because it's the language that ties all African cultures together at a key pivotal time. So we, as an Afrocentric organization, have taken on that same mantra and say, we're going to use Swahili phrases as well, things that mean something. So again, Emojini and Nguvu means unity is power. That's the name of my chapter, Emojini and Nguvu. Zulu, made after the Zulu kingdom, pre-colonialism. They were the ones that beat the colonialists with spears when the colonialists had guns. So that there's a whole lot of other history there, but that's one of the major points. and we kind of at Tiger 5, we beat all the Greek organizations that were at that time adversaries to us. It's not the same now because people have grown, right? But they were adversaries to us, and we were able to beat them, even though they were all set up. They had all the numbers, they had all the support, and we still came out on top. And so that's a piece of it as well, along with other things. So think deeply about, as a chapter, what you want your African-centered name to be. Think of the kingdom, preferably pre-colonialism, or that fought against colonialism, and then also the Swahili phrase. And so in some cases, they already took on a chapter name, like Tiger 6, which is Morehouse. They were Mayat chapter, Mayat being law and order, or the Egyptian goddess of law. So think deeply about it, and then come to us if you need ideas, you need help. We'll help you through it. But we want to think about trying to adapt those chapter names while still preserving our history and having the mascot names as well, because there are people that pledged this organization before any of us were born that were Tiger 1, that were Tiger 5, that were Tiger 6. So we want to keep that, but yet and still we want to still define ourselves and differentiate ourselves from other organizations who are our competitors, but still our friends and brothers.
All right, do you guys have any questions about what you heard tonight? It's kind of like an open floor, so ask any questions you want to ask. Any information is open at this point.
Are we gonna get a copy of this recording? There's some stuff I missed out on. My
Yeah, I
notes.
got you.
I will.
Yeah, Crispin, I got a question. Where will you be posting the recording of this meeting? Because I do intend to go back to look at it because there were parts that on my end were cutting up, so I kind of want to go and review those parts later on.
So what I will do is I will get it to Tyreek. Well, I'm in the Discord too, so I'll throw it in the Discord, and then I'll talk to President McDougal and see where he wants to publish it for consumption.
All right, thank you. Yeah, so I'll just join the Discord then. That's what it's going to be. I appreciate that.
No doubt. Any other questions? All right. I know it's late.
Let's get let me ask a guy I look up to and really, really respect, if he got any words for the brothers. Brother Bubba Falls, you knew I was coming to you. You got any type of words of wisdom to share based on what you heard and what you think about direction of the org?
Well, first of all, I want to give both reference to yourself and Crispin for the jobs that you have done, and the job as we continue forward in the future. And the second thing I really want to say to all the young men, especially the ones in the South Atlantic region. I'm in the South Atlantic region too. I wasn't able to make it last week to Atlanta because I had some other things that had got planned. But one of the things that we always say, that even today, and I've been a group, coming up this year be 40 years, and it's very simple. It's harder to be a group than the pledge group. So a lot of this stuff has been made considerably easier by what the president, what Crispin has done. They've given a lot of us a vision and hope, even at my old age. And so what you all have done, I thank each one of y'all for becoming members of Groove. And like I said, we got great leadership. So now it's time. You did the orientation part. Now it's time to do the work. And if any of you all need any type of help, whatever, like I said, my name's Bubba. Especially the ones in the South Atlantic. Ask Tabisco. That's one of my good buddies. Just ask him to get my number from me and stuff. And like I said, just carry it forth, man. And we're gonna do this together. You know, we'll quickly depend also to engage with your older brothers. Not because it's a simple point of knowledge and everything, but we are here to assist you in every form and fashion, you know. So just engage with them. Some of us old and cranky, but we'll come we'll come in the fold though. And that's about it.
Thank you, brother. It's always been a pleasure, just listening to you and watching you operate. Um, when we started this administration, brother started the South Carolina State, Virtual Alumni Chapter, and his chapter is one of the largest virtual alumni chapters in Groove and one of the largest graduate chapters. I believe he has over 26 financial members in his chapter, and it's still growing. So if you guys ever have any questions, Bubba is the guy to speak to. As conclave approaches, our international conclave is from July 27th to the 30th. Um, it is important that you guys be there. One, we get to shower you with love. We get to shower you guys with appreciation. We get to welcome you into your new family, and you get to see how we operate business and how we. Let me pause this real quick.
This meeting is being recorded.
So we're gonna have a great time in New Orleans. My prayer and my ask is that all of you find your way down there, talk to your graduate brothers, talk to your chapters, and figure out a plan how we get you guys there, and let's make it happen. The ask is to be at our international delegates meeting, on time, dressed, prepared, and ready to work. Reach out to Jaden, as we are looking for hospitality staff, uh, where it comes with some benefits if you work during the conclave. We'll have another meeting on that the undergraduate strategic growth committee meeting that they have. They'll talk more about it there and put a plan in place to help you guys. But I'm excited. I'm excited to work with you guys. Like you know, like Ahmad said, like Bubba said, like I said, it's a great time for Groove right now, and we're excited to have you guys a part of the family.
And so remember, last but not least, and you've probably heard this a million times in your life from somebody, or maybe you haven't. To be early is to be on time. To be on time is to be late, and to be late is unacceptable. That's for everything. So remember that. To be late is unacceptable. To be on time is to be late. That's unacceptable. You're there early for everything in your life. You're a black man. You're going to see significant struggles in your life, especially as you have an education. You'll be moving through the professional ranks, and you'll be the only guy in the room. You, of all people, can't be late to nothing in your life. If you do that, it'll become something that's normal for you, and it won't become a problem. And it'll be something that benefits you. So be early to everything. Trust me, it'll pay big, big dividends long range. And that's one of the things that John was talking about by talking to the elders. They'll give you so much information and game that you'll be able to be successful in anything in life that you want to do, because they'll give you the structure and they'll give you the guidelines, the basic and the basis. And if they're in your field of endeavor, they may be able to give you a job or be able to show you around things that they had to encounter. Because we want to make sure that whatever mistakes we made, whatever troubles that we encountered, whatever challenges we encountered, we want to make it easier for you. We want to give you the game so that you're able to get way beyond this in all aspects of life. It will be, if you guys are not better than us, then we have failed. If you're not more successful than us, then we have failed. If you guys don't see more success in Groove and in your personal life, then we have failed. So help us help you.
And to close us out, can I get everybody to unmute their mics? Let's see who's still sleeping here. We got a few people still sleeping. It's all right. All right, to close us out, can I get a G56 deuce? G5.
Dig.
Six
Six
dudes.
Six dudes.
Oh, cut out. Oh, we didn't hear.
My man said my internet went out. Hey, I appreciate you guys. You guys have a good night. All right. We'll post this video shortly. Thank you guys for sitting through this, and encourage more brothers. Get to work. We got some work to do. We got some lines to put on. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a great night, brothers.
Have a good night.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
y'all have a
brothers.
great night.